And the reason they've disappeared is because we came under pressure. Mobile termination rates came down. We had to cut the costs. We had to look at the downstream part of trying to get the margins out and trying to make the cost, right? These things all contribute to the costs. It's the cost of producing it. It's the cost of the device. It's the cost of the distribution. All of these become cost factors in determining the cost of a gig of data. If you add another layer, you're adding another margin. The margin in the service provider world is 25 to 30%. The margin in a wholesale fixed space is 30%. So you're actually making the cost higher. Today you don't have that cost. You've got the downstream distribution, which is the retailers, which is costing you less. If you add another element, you're making it more expensive. So you're actually asking to drop prices, but you're asking on the other hand to increase the price or increase the cost. I'm not getting it.
I'm not sure how competition will increase the cost, but for now, let's leave it
But it's not competition. Competition has to happen at the top. So you've got 6 operators. If you say I want to add 7 or 8, that you can say is possible. But you're saying we're saying we've got a problem with the cost of a gig, and we're saying more elements to make it more expensive. Or not you, but that's what ISPA is asking for. ISPA is saying, let's add more people to make the gig more expensive. They're not driving down the cost. If they can help us to produce the cost cheaper, let's put many of them in. But they need to help us to reduce the cost of a gig.
Yeah, let's leave it there for now. Dr. Mncube?
I have one final question. And I think you have raised very strongly the issues of investment, spectrum, and regulatory certainty. I want to get a comment from you again on one other proposition that has been put to us. And this proposition arises out of a concern that the pricing structures of data bundles are very complex for customers to work out. And the suggestion here is, why not just have one pricing structure that is just simple, which could be, for example, be 2 cents per megabyte across all. Can I just get your comments on it? Because the fear is that the shocks that are rising out of an experience of a text message that says you are out of data are confusing to consumers who think they still have something.
Look, I think there is, in fairness, there is a option to go with a simpler pricing methodology and just say that's the price. I wish we could get to the 2 cents, though. But I think it's a different pricing methodology. You are seeing operators that are coming out with that type of thing. You had Rain launch with a flat rate per gig of data or per meg of data. And again, in a competitive environment, customers are choosing, right? So that's why you're seeing some smaller operators grow, because there is different options. So I think you'll end up in a situation. There will be some, there will be more simplification. Or you just go with a simple thing like, 29 Rand for a day, or which will probably continue to drop as well. So you'll end up with situations where you'll have like daily allowances, those type of things. I think you eventually get to a situation where you pay a rate and have unlimited for the day. That's where we're going. But you have to be able to have the capacity in the network to be able to deal with that. And that's what 5G will give you. So, as the technology evolves as well, I think a lot more becomes possible in that respect. But I think the issue that you're faced with, these are pricing methodologies. And like I said, what would happen today is if you did that and you just said, listen, it's 10 cents across the board. Right? Because if you look at the effective rates, then that would be, and you just said, look, that was 10 cents or 12 cents across the board, whatever it might be. What would then happen is you are right in saying there will be smaller users that will be happy. I think that is fair, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that logic. I think that's fair. But What will also happen is that the same person who was paying 29 Rand, which is 2.9 cents a gig, will be prejudiced because something's going to have to give in the model.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf, for your time as well as for your submission. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, panel members. Thank you.
You are excused. We will now take the next submission from MTN South Africa.
Would you like these back?
It's your present.
Thank you.